Today's big show is on the multifactorial nature of things. And though this topic would fit under many different units, we have it under our unit on the Cold War. So I want to help you understand the impact made by individuals, groups, and institutions at local, national, and global levels, both in affecting change and ensuring continuity. This is one of those national social studies standards, and this topic that we're going to talk about today fits within this. And you're going to see how specific individuals can make this significant impact, really worldwide impact. Multiple causation is when social events, it assumes that social events are too complex to be explained by any single factor. Events occur as a result of several factors working in combination. This isn't the way most people like to think on a regular basis. They like to think of simple cause and effect. This person caused this event, he did that, she did that, and yet in reality, that's not the way things really are. So we're going to talk about the multifactorial nature of things, how lots of things can lead to big events. And we're actually going to start by we're going to talk today about the genocide in Bangladesh in 1971. That event during that year is where somewhere between 300,000 and 3 million people were killed, and 200,000 to 400,000 women were raped. This is a horrific event. The reason why there's such a wide range in numbers is because we don't know for sure how many people were killed. It's something that is rarely talked about, but it actually fits into our topic of the Cold War. So I need to go back to Pakistan in 1970. At that time, Pakistan was split by India. We have West Pakistan, which is what we would consider Pakistan today, and East Pakistan, which is today Bangladesh. Pakistan began what was called Operation Searchlight, in which the army, in an effort to curb Bengali nationalist movement in East Pakistan, went into East Pakistan. But to understand how this would take place and where even this weapons of war came from, we need to step back and look at the Cold War. So the Cold War was, this U.S.-Soviet Union antagonistic relationship during this time period. And this would come out in lots of different ways, in which sometimes the United States and the Soviet Union would remember that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Here we have Khrushchev of the Soviet Union befriending Fidel Castro of Cuba. And earlier in the Cold War unit, we looked at Bay of Pigs and the Cuban Missile Crisis. Castro was an enemy of the United States and naturally would gravitate towards the Soviet Union. However, in 1963, another communist country, China, who also was at odds with the United States, had a formal split with the Soviet Union. They went their separate ways. They were not getting along, if you will. Now, and at the same time, during this Cold War, when we would supply weapons to lots of countries who were kind of on the fence to keep them from going communist, the United States gave lots of military aid to Pakistan. And here is Lyndon Johnson in about 1966 meeting the president of Pakistan and securing weapons for Pakistan in an effort to keep communism out of that region. Now, by 1970, the leader of Pakistan, General Yahya Khan, said that we'd kill 3 million of the Bengalis and the rest will eat out of our hands. This was his way to deal with this East Pakistan uprising in which Bangladesh wanted to be an independent country. Because of Operation Searchlight and because some of the atrocities taking place at this beginning, Congress, the U.S. Congress, cuts off military aid to Pakistan. no more tanks, no more guns, no more bombs. You're using it to attack the residents of East Pakistan, the Bengali people. No more. However, Yahya Khan and Richard Nixon met, and Richard Nixon liked the president of Pakistan, and Khan volunteered himself as a conduit for secret diplomacy between the United States and Communist China. Remember that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So Nixon wanted to get into China with the number one goal of of jabbing the Soviet Union, of keeping China away from the Soviet Union, to hurt Communist Russia by befriending China. Only he had no way to get into China. China wasn't open to having the U.S. there, but they were friends with Khan and Pakistan. Nixon, defying the orders of Congress, continues military aid to Pakistan secretly, allowing this genocide to continue, to continue on with the killing of Bengali people, using oftentimes U.S.-made weapons. What this does, though, this allows Nixon to go to China and open up relations with Communist China in 1972. You could argue that this would not have been possible had Nixon not befriended Khan and Pakistan. However, that friendship and those weapons did allow Pakistan to wage war against the Bengali people of East Pakistan. Notice we haven't talked about why the Bengali people wanted independence. There are religious reasons and cultural reasons, and really it's a very complicated thing. But on top of all that, we have this Cold War thing of this fight between the United States and Russia, and an effort to the United States to get into China. Very complicated, lots of strands to this. It is clearly multifactorial in nature. Lots of different things going on. Things are much more complicated than they would appear to be on the surface. And it is for you to decide after the fact if it was worth the United States getting into China, if that was a reasonable thing to do by Richard Nixon. He thought it was very reasonable. He saw the world as this bigger picture, this effort to fight communist Russia, and was willing to do most anything to help end that. And that's your big show for today.